Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Sean David. Thanks for tuning in. Let's talk some old school basketball. In today's episode, I want to talk about the rivalry between Dennis Rodman and Larry Bird. A rivalry that some way, somehow kind of got forgotten over the years, but really had it going on back in the days. So that is the topic for today. But before we start, a quick shout out to my Patreons. Thanks a lot, you guys, for supporting the show. It's really appreciated. And I would say let's dig right into it. Alright you guys, I want to start off this video by taking you back to 1987 when Dennis Rodman was a 25-year-old rookie drafted by the Detroit Pistons with a 27th pick in the second round. Since Dennis never played for an elite college, not too many NBA teams knew about him. In his scouting report, he was described as a diamond in the rough, a player that had a lot of heart, a great athlete, but somebody who was simply lacking the skills. So when the Pistons decided to pick Rodman, Dennis was intimidated by the star power of the Pistons. The Dennis Rodman of the late 1980s had a totally different personality than the Rodman we knew from his Chicago Bulls days. The 80s Dennis Rodman was more like a child playing a lot of video games instead of going out to the clubs with his teammates. But the one thing that Dennis really spent most of his time with was working on his game. He knew back then he would not outskill anybody, so his entire plan was to simply outwork everybody. But the beginning of his rookie season was really tough, not receiving many minutes, and also the NBA game was obviously a lot tougher and quicker than in college.
But I didn't let that discourage me, because I know I'm a rookie and every little thing I do is going to be a mistake, so I just got to go out there and play. In the second half of the season, I've been doing real well.
Yes, he was. After struggling in the first half of the season, Rodman's hard work really paid off, and he made it into the 8-man rotation of the Detroit Pistons. Now receiving over 20 minutes a game after only getting about 5 to 10 minutes in the first half of the season, Rodman was now entrusted with special defensive assignments. Coach Chuck Daly realized what a potential Rodman had on the defensive side of the floor, and because of Rodman's quick feet and his relentless attitude, it made him the perfect player to guard some of the elite forwards in the NBA. And one of these elite forwards was, well, of course, Larry Bird. Going against Larry legend, Dennis was always super motivated and really wanted to prove so bad that he belonged and that he was able to stop the best guys in the league. And he had a lot of success with some of the best players. But with the matchups against Larry Bird in his rookie season, well, they were more like schooling lessons.
Bird against Rodman, spins around the rookie, reverses it in. Dennis Rodman just went to Larry Bird University for a term there. First period. Bird gets the roll with Ames for three again. And Rodman the rebound. And Bird steals the ball. And McHale gets the basket. And the basket counts in a foul, and Larry Bird made another incredible play.
You just cannot stop thinking when you play against the Celtics. Now here's Rodman, and you watch Bird just slip around from the blind side, tip it to McHale, and Rodman came up underneath McHale.
If we take a look at the numbers, you can see that when the Pistons and Celtics faced each other in the regular season that year, that Larry's numbers clearly speak for itself. Rodman, who guarded Larry for the majority of the time when he was on the floor, didn't stand a chance. Though, he had one nice slam on Larry, which is worth mentioning.
Pierre sure does find the soft spot in the Celtics defense to get open for those outside shots.
McHale, who has 20. And a steal by Rodman. 3-on-1 break. Thomas. And Rodman gets the basket, and Larry Bird with his second foul of the game.
At that time, the Celtics-Lakers reign was slowly shifting, and the Detroit Bad Boy Pistons were on the verge of becoming a champion. But for the Pistons, in order to make it to the finals, they would have to beat the Celtics. And that was exactly the problem. In the 1987 playoffs, both the Celtics and the Pistons met in the conference finals. And even though it was a 7-game series, Larry Bird was the most dominant player in that series, averaging 27 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. Dennis Rodman, on the other hand, really tried his best to contain Larry Bird, just like the rest of the team, but he wasn't ready. Now, after the 1987 playoff series between the Celtics and the Pistons, Dennis Rodman had some really controversial comments about Larry Bird. But Isaiah Thomas took the blame for it.
Now there's a steal by
Larry Legend really hurt the Detroit Pistons. The Bad Boys came so close just to end the series empty-handed. Also in Game 7, the Boston fans were mocking Dennis Rodman for his obviously too happy celebrations earlier.
They're imitating Dennis Rodman right now in their celebration.
When Rodman was asked about Larry Bird after the series, Rodman said that Larry Bird was overrated because he's white. Isaiah Thomas, who wanted to support his teammate, basically confirmed what Rodman said and received a lot of media backlash. But when Larry Bird was asked about this, he said he didn't care, and so shouldn't you. Now, if there's one thing that we know about guys like Michael Jordan, Reggie Miller, or Larry Bird, it doesn't take a lot to motivate them. This is exactly what they need to take the game to the next level. And even though Larry didn't say anything more about Rodman's comments, you knew that Larry was ready. In hindsight, it's kind of funny that one of Larry Bird's biggest endorsements back in the days was, well, Rodman.
I kind of laughed when Rodman asked me to do an escort commercial. You see, I'm 6'9". An escort's about 4'6". When Rodman gave me this escort with these special options at this price, well, I had some face to save. So I called this number and told Rodman straight out, I'd rather drive this escort than sell it to somebody else. Sorry.
Of course, Rodman knew that Larry was coming for him and the Pistons, and the Bad Boys were already the best defensive team in the NBA. Also, that Bad Boys brotherhood obviously would support Rodman and do whatever it takes to stop Bird, but you simply can't stop a legend.
First bucket for Larry. Playing with a lot of cockiness right now, and boy, Larry's leaner.
Switching big people out on those players like that. Bird gets Rodman airborne.
Larry leads in, gets two. Rodman was trying to bump him off any kind of penetration. Didn't work. Actually helped Bird. Rodman stripped by Bird.
Third foul on Rodman. It goes to the bench. John Sally's in to cover Bird now. Larry comes up shooting.
Was so effective in the third quarter with that.
Hits a three outside.
Outside of the defense allows Bird to spin to the baseline. Rodman thinks he's going up on one side of the basket.
And Celtics have to get a good shot here. Not being so content with dropping the clock down below. They're down to 7 seconds now.
Bird, wide open, Dennis Johnson.
Bird does a you can't find me, Dennis Rodman. And he comes up, and look at the move. By the time Rodman gets back out to him, Bird unblocks his left hand.
Larry just catches and fires for two. Bird takes a three. Hits it. Much as I wanted to see. Bird taking.
Now we all know how Dennis Rodman's career turned out to be. He's a Hall of Famer and probably one of the best defenders who ever touched an NBA basketball. Now in 1991, when Larry Bird was at the end of his career and Dennis Rodman at the peak of his athletic and defensive abilities, Bird would not dominate Rodman anymore. Still, I think it's fair to say that Rodman really had to give all he had in order to stop Larry, and you just have to respect that from both sides.
I say it now, I shouldn't have said it then, but I said it, but you know, he was a great player. He was fantastic as far as you know, he was at the right place with, you know, him and Magic. They had a great battles and stuff like that. But it took me maybe 2 or 3 years to get to know Larry Bird's, you know, his moves and how he tries to sucker-bait you and do certain things. But he used to give me my rookie year, he used to call me out, boy. He used to call me out like I was like a shit, man.
Alright you guys, that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed this video, and just don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also click on that notifications button so you receive an email once I upload a new video. Alright, I'll see you next time. Bye!